I'll tell you fucking everything you want to know. I lied about the drugs. I'm totally full of shit. There was tons of fucking drugs. There was marijuana. There was cocaine. There was H. There was shrooms. There was a...
Talawanda, my desk is absolutely like a cyclone hit it. Do you know where that FedEx is where the tape came from?
Fucking mattress filled with weed. It was crazy.
If I had to make $1 million bet, my bet would come down. This is fake found footage.
There was girls kissing girls, guys kissing girls, blowjobs, sodomy, girl giving a donkey a lap dance. There was stripper poles brought in, girls dancing. And ripping off each other's clothes and rubbing each other down with food of like whipped cream and chocolate sauce and I think even tartar sauce and condiments that aren't even sexy like mustards and pickle whip.
Look, I don't know. You guys got like these European directors jumping on this project, but they're making way too many of these goddamn trailers, okay? And I mean, they're just all over the damn place. And I don't want to spend my time critiquing these things, so just clean up this shit, all right? Give me a couple looks, all right? Just get it done. Talk about free fucking PR. We got Diane Sawyer doing a fucking lead story tonight at 6 o'clock on the news. That's something special. And what's with this fucking song they want to put on about Diane Young? What the fuck's that?
Looking for some trouble tonight. Take my hand, I'll show you the wild side. Like it's the last night of our lives. We'll keep dancing till we die. We'll keep dancing till we die.
Look, I might not got all the class in the world, but that is in some bad fucking taste. Yeah, it looks like we just got the report about the fire, and it looks like it was awesome. I never understood it myself. You know, this guy had the world at his feet, but something went wrong at that party because one of them survived, but the other one could have survived, but he threw himself off a building. Look, the problem I'm having here is that, you know, these kids have become martyrs, okay? And you know, we got families getting paid 8 ways out of Sunday. But as any parent who's lost a child knows that is no compensation for such a loss. So we're looking at, to date, ready? 19 lawsuits. We got 18 each individually from the families, and then we got one class action in the federal jurisdiction, okay, in the Third Circuit. And, I mean, I'm going to be spending the rest of my year at fucking depositions for this shit. So, you know, I need a lawyer that's going to help me fix this shit. First thing we got to do is try to figure out who rented this goddamn mansion for $22,000, because that ain't ready money that, you know, these kids got on their student loans and credit cards, all right? So that's the first place we should be looking for. I don't know why this FBI has been fucking it up since day one, but here's the deal. We have to look at everything, basically, you know, follow the money. Just like, you know, what is it? Woodward, Bernstein, Burn, whatever the hell their names were from, you know, the Nixon era. Follow the fucking money. And what we're doing is we're getting some forensic accountants down there to help you boys with the FBI, since you're such a bunch of fuck-ups. I gotta do your job for you. I'm a fucking Hollywood agent without a high school diploma, and I gotta figure this fucking thing out. But I got one piece of news for you, okay? I just heard through a friend of mine who's on deep cover, that's triple deep cover, that, are you ready? You sitting down? I hope you're sitting down on that goddamn plane, because you're paying enough for all every gas every day, every hour you flying that bullshit, flying in circles. But get this. I hear that they ain't dead, but they were, well, kidnapped, I heard.
No, stay where you are so I can get, okay, actually, no, it's all right. And go.
All right, I just heard from my other source in the FBI, one a little bit more reliable than your fucked up ass, and it turns out that, you know, the paintings were perhaps a diversion. I mean, they were valuable, worth millions of dollars, but it turns out that there was a safe in the house that at certain times brought out and displayed some crown jewels from Sweden, Norway, or wherever the hell they got white hair, blue eyes, and all that other shit. So these jewels, if they were in fact kidnapped, or if that was the motivation, then, you know, these kidnappers have already got their ransom. They got a literal fucking king's ransom here, and the crown jewels. But you know, that's where I have to wonder, you know, this is where it's getting confusing. I mean, where the art has not shown up on the radar of the underground art world. There hasn't been any sales of that. And this is, I mean, damn, this jewelry, it ain't like you can go into Zales in the mall and, you know, or some pawn shop and, you know, get, you know, $500 for this shit. So this is a major fucking clue that, again, I think I should switch professions, or maybe just do this on fucking Sundays as a hobby, because you guys have not gotten to square two, much less square one. So look, follow the fucking Jules, follow the fucking aunt. Look who rented the goddamn house for the party. Why did they invite those 19 kids? What's the relationship between them all? Did you find out where those insurance payoffs went? Did you talk to the families and find out if they were the ones that secured these policies? I mean, what are the fucking chances 19, 22-year-olds have gone and had the wherewithal and the foresight and the maturity to go out and get life insurance policies at the fucking age of 22? For $1 million each. Pay, what is it? The minimum, 3 months of a premium so they can get maximum annuity benefits? I mean, I mean, I grew up in a town with 432 people, and the sheriff, who was as dumb as a fucking sea bass, 3 days old dead, could have figured out that just by the insurance angle, okay? So put your fucking heads together here. Something doesn't sound right. I know we got the bodies. I know we got the dental records. I know but we got something along the line here that ain't adding up, all right? So, yeah, the ratings are going through the roof. They're becoming, they might as well be, they're like Kardashians, with a fucking education. It's great, hip hip fucking hooray. But it's becoming now an issue about my credibility because, people now don't know whether I'm selling fiction or reality, or they don't know whether it's documentary, docudrama, narrative, mockumentary, quasi, cinema verite, French New Wave, Lars von Trier, holding this goddamn camera and doing, one take and calling it a day and then going smoking some hash in Amsterdam. I don't know what the fuck's going on. All I know is that these jewels were stolen and now I'm hearing the kidnapped. So go fuck yourself and work with that. Any word on that filmmaker? The FBI director, I got senators, I got men who don't even have titles on my ass. So I really don't want to hear any kind of bullshit from you. Now I'm hearing bullshit from you. I don't care if you're a special agent. I don't care if you're an ultimate agent. I don't care if you're a super agent. I don't care if you're a fucking superhero, okay? The problem is that the people that I work with in Hollywood pay a lot of money for the people that get elected, that you work for, to get elected. You understand where I'm going with this? You got 72 hours to come up with a lead and find those boys and girls, because I'll tell you this right now. If you don't, not only are you going to get fired, but we're going to implicate you in their disappearance just for the fun of it, all right? Now, I heard something that they might be down in, well, the word is Colombia. I have no idea why, but Colombia. Check it out, okay? I think the lying pieces of shit, but I'm gonna leave that part to you later, okay? Yeah, no, I'm not. You didn't hear from me that they faked the death. You didn't hear from me.
Of people who begin a degree program actually complete it within 1.5 times the allotted time. Those people who do graduate, 2/3 of them take out student loans.
Mr. Brian, I assume you're on your jet. I'm sorry to call you there. I know it's expensive to use that satellite phone, but I thought you should first hear from me, because when you land, you're gonna certainly hear from reporters or the news or whomever handles your press or PR. And as I hear this, I'm not sure if it's great news or bad news or what kind of news. I'm just going to tell you I'm just going to tell you the damn news. The good news is that the graduation party victims, the 18 of them that died, it turns out, apparently from preliminary reports, I just found out that they're alive. They actually did not die that night. Okay, so that's the good news. Okay, the bad news is they were kidnapped, and the ransom that they want is about $18 million.
Until we die.
Wrong. This graduate, $78,000 in debt, will never end. And this young woman, $100,000 in debt, moved back home. Something we heard from so many of you. Graduate Ashley Meyer took us into her Dallas bedroom.
This is my room.
The same bed she slept in before she went to college, the same dresser. The only thing different, the pile of bills.
These are some of my lovely student loans.
Ashley graduated from UT Austin, about $70,000 in debt. She pays $750 a month, which is why she's back with the family dog.
That's Daisy.
Back with Dad, back with Mom, who, just like she used to, asks her college grad if she'll be home at a decent hour.
So we're going to leave them alone and let them watch the game.
Leaving them alone, but still living down the hall. One recent survey of this year's college graduates revealed 85% saying they'd be moving back home. 5.9 million young adults, 25 to 34, now live at home, up 25%.
Speak with Speaker Boehner, and I told him what I've been saying publicly, that I am happy to talk with him and other Republicans about anything. Not just issues I think are important, but also issues that they think are important. But I also told him that having such a conversation, talks, negotiations, shouldn't require hanging the threats of a government shutdown or economic chaos over the heads of the American people. Think about it this way. The American people do not get to demand a ransom for doing their jobs. You don't get a chance to call your bank and say, I'm not going to pay my mortgage this month unless you throw in a new car and an Xbox. If you're in negotiations around buying somebody's house, you don't get to say, well, let's talk about the price I'm going to pay, and if you don't give me the price, then I'm going to burn down your house. That's not how negotiations work. That's not how it happens in business. It's not how it happens in private life. In the same way, members of Congress and the House Republicans in particular don't get to demand ransom in exchange for doing their jobs. And two of their very basic jobs are passing a budget and making sure that America is paying its bills. They don't also get to say, you know, unless you give me what the voters rejected in the last election, I'm going to cause a recession. That's not how it works. No American president would deal with a foreign leader like this. Most of you would not deal with either co-workers or business associates in this fashion, and we shouldn't be dealing this way here in Washington. And, you know, I've heard Republicans suggest that, well, no, this is reasonable, this is entirely appropriate, but as I've said before, imagine if a Democratic Congress threatened to crash the global economy unless a Republican president agreed to gun background checks or immigration reform. I think it's fair to say that Republicans would not think that was appropriate. So let's lift these threats from our families and our businesses, and let's get down to work.
I think it's just important just to evaluate where she's coming from.
I want to concentrate on who's.
No. Listen to me.
Let's have a seance.
Give her the value of just saying what's going on. Because we're all human beings. Yeah. And someone can say something that triggers something. It doesn't matter what. But someone can say something that triggers an emotion, a response. No. And so.
Okay, Talladega, okay, I need you to take a pen and pencil, all right, and do the following things for me, okay? Mr. Bryan's going to be calling me all morning, all right? I want you to put him off. I want you to tell him that my grandmama died, my mother died, my cousins, tell him the whole family's dead. Just give him whatever excuse. I'm at the hospital. The fact is that I can't talk to him right now. Talladega, okay, I need you to take a pen and pencil, all right, and do the following things for me, okay? Mr. Bryan's going to be calling me all morning, all right? I want you to put him off. I want you to tell him that my grandmama died, my mother died, my cousins, tell him the whole family's dead. Just give him whatever excuse. I'm at the hospital. The fact is that I can't talk to him right now. Now, I need you to go do some work and get that detective, that private eye fellow, because I need you to do some research, and we have to figure out from where those FedExes came. Okay, we got to track down that bar who sent me that email saying that he was the filmmaker. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, I need to get a meeting with him today, because when I talk to Mr. Bryan and he's going to be pissed off to high hell, I got to fix this, and I got to speak to him right away. Do you understand that? Okay, now if you understand that, you understand the severity of this situation. Anyone that calls, you disavow all knowledge. We are not commenting, except to say that we had no knowledge of any impropriety associated with this production at all. We thought it was honest to God awful truth. It was the straight scoop. That was the real lives. They had actually perished in those fires. That this was not some publicity, marketing, crazy ass Blair Witch kind of stunt. Hell, I ain't that sophisticated. It was all just happenstance and hoodwinkling and hoodwinking and the wool over my eyes and all that other shit. So just whatever you have to say, just we didn't do it. You know, that's all I can say to these people. We had no knowledge of this, and that's damn truth. You know that because you've been. How long you've been with me now? What now? You've been with me 7 months, and so you've been with me since that. In fact, it was 2 weeks you've been working here that those packages started coming in here. Remember? Well, we didn't even look at them until the FBI boys got involved, and then when we did look at them, well, we saw the footage, and then that went and sold it to Comcast, and next thing you know, the damn numbers went off through the roof. And apparently this is what happened. Turns out that one of the kids that died, this is a daddy. He was a very powerful man. He was a South Carolina senator actually, and he got those FBI boys involved, and they did the tracking down and talking to everyone. They found out that now a couple people actually left the party that wasn't aware that they'd actually put too many bodies, too many well, it turns out what they did was they took cadavers and they put them in there. They were the same age and racial composition. They put damn clothes on them and the whole 9 yards. And then they saw that fire. They actually watched the damn fire from the cover of the woods. But suffice it to say that the whole thing was a scam, sham, flim-flam to the man. And I don't know why they did it, except made me sell some advertising on a television show, because I certainly know how to tell. I can sell a TV show. So I sold Snooki for MTV. You don't need no trick or device or gimmick, but I guess these boys and girls did. They thought they did. So anyway, it ain't no here nor there. But at this time, what we need to do is I need to speak with that filmmaker right away, because it looks like what I found out was these boys and girls are all alive, and they're in some island sitting there drinking pina coladas and enjoying the sun, and laughing all the way to the bank in the Cayman Islands, I guess, because it turns out not only are they getting the money from this TV show deal that I cut for them unknowingly, thinking that I was cutting it for the blind trust established for the families that were remaining, turns out that they were controlling it the whole time. Even the charities were false. Everything was bullshit. Yeah, basically, I mean, I got my 10%, so, I mean, I was compensated. But the fact is that those millions and millions of dollars were flowing down to the south in one of these little Virgin Islands where they were all sitting there in a house together, where it turns out, from my source, that they had filmed all of that as well. So, while it is a bit of a pickle we find ourselves in, if I do work the angles right, I do think that I can get a second season from NBC Universal Comcast. Yeah. So apparently they filmed everything that went down in those islands, and it was one of them girls that the girl that did, she wasn't getting along with anybody during the actual party, and see, the way this whole thing went down is. Besides the heat I was getting from the FBI, because they thought I was behind the whole damn thing. Of course, I had nothing to do with it. All I did was got the footage, and I looked at it, and then I tried to sell it to Comcast, and we made a deal. And that was a sell. I mean, I think I watched 4 minutes of that damn footage. I watched that trailer that they put together, and then I sold the damn thing to Robert Bryan, and that was it. I mean, literally, we went duck hunting, and I sold them while we were duck hunting. Turns out that right after the whole thing blew up and, you know, it was getting really big in Europe and was getting ready for this American debut, well, there was something leaked to the press. It was a piece of footage, like an outtake. And it was all these kids at the party, and they were all talking different. And then at the end of this footage, they actually are talking about, the word movie comes up, like they're actors or something. They actually talk about making a movie. So you put that next to all this footage, and you realize that these kids aren't graduating from no college. These kids are actors, professional actors. That's why I was so damn convincing. They got some talent, I'll admit, but, you know, I guess they don't realize it's a felony to take it this far. I mean, fiction is one thing, and artistic license is another, but this thing, artistic license, they were speeding and they were going 200 miles per hour and then going into jail. I know about law, but maybe it's illegal. Damn, I don't even know. They got this Paranormal Activity, most powerful film ever made, and you know they want you to think it's real, and this whole reality is fake. Look, I ain't in it for that. I'm in it for the 10%. And I just got one thing to say. There's a one silver lining to all this is I get a hold of that filmmaker, and I get him to sign for these next seasons. I get the season of them down and all the fractured relationships and strained reliances and survivor-like coincidences and all these things and dramas and conflicts that I'm sure that occurred with some probably very favorable lighting conditions in the southern hemisphere where I believe they're located right now. So we got a hold of that. And we also have an option for that third season, which I think would follow the trials, because obviously there's a mastermind. We just have to identify who the mastermind is. Well, obviously, one of the people that are involved. I mean, one of those actors must have been the director-producer, if you will. But I do think I do have a line on the man who I don't think was in the party, who actually controlled the cameras remotely from some type of studio and then did the editing, and he was the one that was sending them to me. I guess he knew I'd buy it. And he knew about my relationship with you. He knew we both came from the same parish in Louisiana, the whole damn thing. So I think these were set up, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. And look, I got moving boxes surrounded me because I'm out of this town. I made enough money off this deal. I can go retire and just sit on the bayou and eat my crawfish, and I'm happy doing that. And I got my hounds, and I'll be fine. But I gotta set this right. And the way I said it right is this. I find that filmmaker, I found out what the hell he's doing.
Around, what was it? I mean, we have it clocked around maybe 3:30, whatever. So, and the fire happened perhaps 2 hours after that. So there's you got your footage, and then people were going to sleep at that point or passing out. You don't have anything that was suspicious. No figures, no people that showed up late, inexplicably, nothing.
Yeah. These kids were gonna be like the next big thing had this had gone according to plan. I mean, for the most part, they're getting exposure, but they're not getting the credit, that I think they are, that is, owed to them. If had they stayed alive, most of them, I guess, they would be reaping the benefits of what's going on right now.
That's true. That's true. In fact, that would be the ideal situation for them to enjoy the fruits of this. And
so that's what I said. Because you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to be on camera. Even the most shy and ugly people in the world, they want to be on camera. Sure, we see them on TV all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't see what the big deal was. There was no problem with them being filmed. People are filmed all the time at parties or wherever it is, and
well, they have a right to their privacy. They have a right to their own lives.
Yeah, but when you're at a party, there's nothing that's private. There is no privacy at parties.
Again, I think you may have a couple civil suits from some parents that may contradict that, but but that's not my concern and that's not my jurisdiction.
I hear the notes that they don't sing, you know what I'm saying? And I try to fill in those.
Right away. You understand that? Okay? Now, if you understand that, you understand the severity of the situation, anyone that calls, you disavow all knowledge. We are not commenting, except to say that we had no knowledge of any impropriety associated with this production at all. We thought it was honest to God, awful truth. It was the straight scoop. That was the real lives. They had actually perished in those fires. That this was not some publicity, marketing, crazy ass Blair Witch kind of stunt. Hell, I ain't that sophisticated. It was all just happenstance and hoodwinkling and hoodwinking and the wool over my eyes and all that other shit. So just whatever you have to say, just we didn't do it. That's all I can say to these people. We had no knowledge of this, and that's damn truth. You know that because you've been. How long you been with me now? What now? You've been with me 7 months, and so you've been with me since that. In fact, it was 2 weeks you've been working here that those packages started coming in here. Remember? We didn't even look at them until the FBI boys got involved, and then when we did look at them, well, we saw the footage and and then I went and sold it to Comcast, and next thing you know, the damn numbers went off through the roof. And apparently this is what happened. It turns out that one of the kids that died, this is a daddy. He was a very powerful man. He was a South Carolina senator actually, and he got those FBI boys involved, and they did the tracking down and talking to everyone. They found out that now a couple people actually left the party that wasn't aware that they'd actually put too many bodies, too many well, it turns out what they did was they took cadavers and they put them in there. They were the same age and racial composition. They put damn clothes on them and the whole 9 yards, and then they saw that fire. They actually watched the damn fire from the cover of the woods, but suffice it to say that the whole thing was a scam, sham, flim-flam to the man. And I don't know why they did it, except made me sell some advertising on a television show, because I certainly know how to tell us. I can sell a TV show. So I sold Snooki for MTV. You don't need no trick or device or gimmick, but I guess these boys and girls did. They thought they did. So anyway, it ain't no here nor there. Turns out that right after the whole thing blew up and, you know, was getting really big in Europe and was getting ready for this American debut, well, there was something leaked to the press. It was a piece of footage, like an outtake, and it was all these kids at the party, and they were all talking different. And then at the end of this footage, they actually are talking about, the word movie comes up, like they're actors or something. They actually talk about making a movie. So you put that next to all this footage, and you realize that these kids aren't graduating from no college. These kids are actors, professional actors. That's why it was so damn convincing. They got some talent, I'll admit, but, you know, I guess they don't realize it's a felony to take it this far. I mean, fiction is one thing, and artistic license is another, but this artistic license, they were speeding, and they were going 200 miles per hour, and then going into jail. I know about law, but maybe it's illegal. Damn, I don't even know. They got this Paranormal Activity, most powerful little film ever made, and, you know, they want you to think it's real, and, you know, this whole reality is fake. Look, I ain't in it for that. I'm in it for the 10%. I just got one thing to say. There's a one silver lining to all this is I get a hold of that filmmaker, and I get him to sign for these next seasons. I get the season of them down and all the fractured relationships and strained reliances and survivor-like coincidences and all these things and dramas and conflicts that I'm sure that occurred with some probably very favorable lighting conditions in the southern hemisphere where I believe they're located right now. So we got a hold of that, and we also have an option for that third season, which I think would follow their trials, because obviously there's a mastermind. We just have to identify who the mastermind is. Obviously, one of the people that are involved. I mean, one of those actors must have been the director-producer, if you will. Well, there was something leaked to the press. It was a piece of footage, like an outtake, and it was all these kids at the party, and they were all talking different. And then at the end of this footage, they actually are talking about, the word movie comes up, like they're actors or something. They actually talk about making a movie. So you put that next to all this footage, and you realize that these kids aren't graduating from no college. These kids are actors, professional actors. That's why it was so damn convincing.
Something that triggers something. It doesn't matter what. But someone can say something that triggers an emotion, a response. No. And so just allow me to just finish. Just take a time out and just evaluate where she's coming from. The fact of the matter is that the negative energy is present. So as a group, what we need to do is factor it out.
Concentrate on her.
We don't want some people to feel, or her to feel uncomfortable as if she's not wanted. Listen,
you're right.
No, just please.
That was juicy.
You guys just listen. Regardless if we don't have time for it, the fact is
we're making a movie. Whoever doesn't want to fucking make it,
no,
be here.
that attitude, that's what I'm talking about. That attitude
I don't want to concentrate on negative energy.
Who would ever want to be upset?
I think it's logical. Yeah.
No one wants that.
Because I think it will aid us in the long run to work as just allow me to just finish.
But at this time, what we need to do is I need to speak with that filmmaker right away, because it looks like what I found out was these boys and girls are all alive, and they're in some island sitting there drinking pina coladas and enjoying the sun, and laughing all the way to the bank in the Cayman Islands, I guess, because it turns out not only are they getting the money from this TV show deal that I cut for them unknowingly, thinking that I was cutting it for the blind trust established for the families that were remaining, turns out that they were controlling it the whole time. Even the charities were false. Everything was bullshit. Yeah, basically, I mean, I got my 10%, so I mean, I was compensated. But the fact is that those millions and millions of dollars were flowing down to the south in one of these little Virgin Islands where they were all sitting there in a house together, where it turns out, from my source, that they had filmed all of that as well. So while it is a bit of a pickle we find ourselves in, if I do work the angles right, I do think that I can get a second season from NBC Universal Comcast. Yeah. So apparently they filmed everything that went down in those islands, and it was one of them girls that the girl that did, she wasn't getting along with anybody during the actual party, and see, the way this whole thing went down is. Besides the heat I was getting from the FBI, because they thought I was behind the whole damn thing. Of course, I had nothing to do with it. All I did was got the footage, and I looked at it, and then I tried to sell it to Comcast, and we made a deal. And that was silly. I mean, I think I watched 4 minutes of that damn footage. I watched that trailer that they put together, and then I sold the damn thing to Robert Bryan, and that was it. I mean, literally, we went duck hunting, and I sold them while we were duck hunting. And when I found that filmmaker and find out what the hell he was thinking, I find out if they were really trying to do something wrong here, or if it just was something that just got out of control. I don't know yet, but all I know is, and I guess they don't really understand the lives and the business and the bottom line that they're going to affect. They also may not realize the millions and millions of dollars we're going to make from all this. But again, there may be some moral and legal issues that we may have to deal with that supersede the profitability perspective. So to summarize, we need to get a hold of that filmmaker. We need to control the press on this and to explain to them that we had no knowledge of this being fictional. We thought that these young boys and girls were dead, and in fact, that the whole effort we made to encapsulate the footage of the last party, the last hours of their young lives, was to give it a poetic justice, to try to find in a tragedy some source of happiness, and also for the surviving families who would be deprived of a youngster who would have been depleting the family of part of their income, because inevitably 80% of these graduates return home without a job and go back to their room that they've occupied since they were 2 years old. We saved them that expense and supplemented that with the income derived from the riots, exposure, and exploitation from the monetization of the amortization from the terrestrialization of the
In a lawsuit regarding this deal I made approximately 3 to 4 months ago regarding this, you might be familiar with this graduation party. It was the tragedy where these young men and women had attended this elite Manhattan online school with a single building as a dormitory to have a social atmosphere, but conducted all their classes in a very innovative, or some would say ridiculous, manner of taking it online when they could have gotten in a room and talked about Plato or 2 + 2 = 4 or whatever the hell they wanted to talk about. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that they spent their $100,000 in 4 years there, and they actually hardly met each other until the actual graduation day where they had a party, and they spent 9 to 10 hours that night in a rented mansion hosted by someone that we have not identified at this point for reasons unknown, suspected at the time to be nothing more than the typical reason for having a party such as a graduation party. You're celebrating graduation. It's self-explanatory. It's like a birthday party or Christmas, goddammit. Shouldn't blast me like that. My mama told me not to blast me like that. Pardon me. Anyway, here's a little scheme I got for my little daughter right here, and then anyone that might see this. And again, I do film this for my own protection and to enhance my recollection in case I am subpoenaed for deposition or testimony in one of these cases, which of course has happened many times before in this business. Anyway, that's neither here nor there either. The point is this: I rarely even do reality TV. I've only done one reality TV show in my life, which I'm proud to say, well, not at the time I was selling it, but it was a little show about some kids, the age of the graduation party subjects. They happened to be of the Italian descent, and it was a little show about a hood called Jersey Shore. That's right. Yep. I can't say I invented a situation or a Snooki, but I was the causation for the hysterical realization that this was the most popular show in the history of MTV, I believe. I don't really read the trades. I just make sure that 10% checks come in. I had the big ones. The point is, almost everybody in town said no to me about the Jersey Shore. Who's going to want to watch a bunch of Guidos eating pizza and getting a spray tan? And I said to myself, hey, everybody's interested in their own way. Everyone's got a story to tell. You never know who might be interested in whatever. And hell, you can watch people cook. If you can watch people play chess, if you can watch people play poker, for God's sake, you can watch people fight over, drunken boyfriend fights. I mean, it sounds like good television to me, and damn right I was right. And I'm proud to say that's why I still survive in this business. Very tough business. And I might not have an education, I might not have much intelligence, but I do have a sense of what the average man wants. Because, that guy, Joe the plumber, he is the second cousin of Larry the cable guy, who is my third cousin twice removed. As a successful Hollywood agent, I still get shit. I get teased like a Northeastern kid coming back to his alumni reunion who is working at a gas station. Really. That's like that. It's backwards. It's absolutely backwards. They make fun of a man at a gas station up north, the Yankees would, saying, go get a job as an investment banker. Well, I go back to Louisiana and I said, hey, I'm a fancy Hollywood hobnobbing, party going, model loving agent, and I get no respect for that. They said, boy, why don't you do some respectable work with your hands? Why don't you do something with your life? Make something. What the hell are you making? You ain't even making the movies. You're just making the deal. You're just a middleman. You're just a salesman. You're just a... They've called me worse, but that's a polite way of describing what I do. I'm making this little tape here just to say that there's been a development. We're about to have a premiere. We've already launched out in Europe, and because of a pending investigation regarding the whereabouts of some of these individuals, because while the initial reports was that they did die in a fire, and that was it was deemed conclusive by the coroner at the time, because of the bodies were found and all the other circumstantial evidence that pointed to it. Austin was suspected at first and then ruled out, and then now it's been brought back into being suspected, I suppose. Persons of interest are being discovered, subpoenas are being sent, letters, compelling production of evidence, and notes and emails and phone call logs, all this bullshit. Can't stand it. Can't stand it whatsoever, and certainly can't stand it when I'm innocent. I had nothing to do with it. It turns out one of these girls, that died in the fire, she had a how's it, Dad? That's actually one of the senators from South Carolina. Yeah, one of the Republican senators from South Carolina. Anywho, he got those FBI boys involved. He ain't going to sit still and say, hey, my dog just died in a fire. He wants to know how he died, who set that fire. Was it accidental? Was it a suicide pact? What the hell was it? What the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know if I was a father, if I had a child. I don't want to know. It's fair enough. Well, those boys got digging. And they found out that there was this one boy that was at the party who got jilted. Yeah. He had sent over, got on bended knee, and gave this woman a ring. One of his girlfriend. He'd been dating her, who knows how long. He'd been dating this girl for, I guess, all college sweetheart, who knows, college sweetheart kind of thing. Gets down on one knee in front of the whole damn party, and guess what he does? He pops a question. But that night was so crazy. That party was so nuts. Everybody was kissing everybody. Boys kissing, girls kissing, boys kissing, donkeys kissing, dogs kissing, cats. It was a freak show. I'm telling you, I've been to Hollywood parties and orgies and all that kind of crazy shit. Man, that looked like a kindergarten cupcake parade compared to the shit that these people have been describing to me and the outtakes that have not been aired and are never going to be aired. And maybe we'll sell them on DVD, pay-per-view, down the line for ancillary income. But, it's between you and me. Anyway, this woman, this really nice, beautiful young woman, maybe she was in love before the party, but by the midpoint of that party, once she had gotten that little, Kentucky bourbon, oak barrel aged, flavored, and those oak barrel sideways, it's the wood, that makes the bourbon special. And it's always only in Kentucky you get that bourbon. Anyhow, good man. He's a good, solid man. It didn't fit into that crowd, because that was a crowd that thought it was too cool for school, no pun. It just they thought they were the shit. That their shit don't stink, and they knew it all. This bar, he had a brain. He knew he didn't. He knew he didn't know it all. He knew he was dumb, just like I was dumb, just like I'm still dumb. We're all dumb till we get old, and then we die. The point is, he went home early. Nobody noticed. So they got a witness, and they're interviewing him right now. Some more information, because at the end of the day, there might be more to this story than we thought. Alright, I gotta go watch my rodeos coming on.
Yeah, I was actually in the video industry myself.
Oh, really?
I held 3 jobs. I worked at a news station.